Tonight on Q2, history on graduation day.
It's a really long road to get into medical school. This is something that I've been basically planning on since I was roughly about 5 or 6.
7 students graduate from the state's first full-time medical school. We'll take you there. Plus, under the underpass. We'll check in on a troublesome area in Billings, seeing how it managed after yesterday's rainfall. And a new life for an old Joliet church.
We are just going to start with one classroom in here, but the music classroom will be in the sanctuary.
The MTN 10 o'clock news starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 10 o'clock news.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for wrapping up your week with us. I'm Russ Riesinger. Making history, Rocky Vista University, Montana's first full-time medical school, marking a milestone with the graduation of its first 7 students today. All those students receiving their master's in medical science. Our Marcus Kakova spoke with the students and faculty about how this education will be applied right here in our state.
With just over 1 million people, Montana remains in need.
This is the graduation ceremony for the Rocky Vista University Montana College of Osteopathic Medicine inaugural Master's in Medical Sciences program graduation.
The only thing longer than the name of today's event is the journey these future doctors are on to solving our state's need for practitioners.
Many of these students will stay in Montana. They'll do their residencies here.
If you look at where most residents, those individuals who are in their post-medical school training, where they go, it's wherever they do their residency.
Master's graduate Joshua Soriano is a veteran from Deer Lodge.
I joined the military and became a hospital corpsman out of high school, so I served 5 years with a deployment to Afghanistan.
He knows well that all 56 counties in Montana are considered health professional shortage areas.
Our access to medical care was subpar at best. Growing up, I don't think I ever saw the same physician more than once.
In its first year of the program, Rocky Vista has also sought talent from outside our state.
I come from Brazil, so my area was really underserved, and I saw many challenges with people looking for health care.
Bianca McRavy's background with healthcare shortage is seen as caused by too many people as opposed to too few.
We have so many challenges in looking for health care, especially the poor population where my demographics is from.
Once continents apart, the 2 graduates look ahead to the same goal.
I'm honestly looking forward to helping people.
It's just good to be able to know that I can still provide service to a population that still needs help.
Marcus Kakova, MTN News.
Speaking of graduation day, Billings Public Schools will hold their high school graduations on Sunday, all at the Metro. West High is first to go from 10 until noon. Skyview follows from 2 until 4 in the afternoon, with seniors celebrating from 6 until 8. Central will also hold its graduation that day, beginning at 6 p.m. at the high school. The 16-year-old accused of shooting and killing a Rocky Mountain College football player will be tried as an adult. Sidney DeCrane Jr. is accused of shooting Chandler Stalcup in the head last October as he was driving away from a late-night house party. Stalcup showed up at the party to pick up friends when a fight broke out. DeCrane and the driver of the vehicle, 17-year-old Garrett Dorr, are accused of following Stalcup's car as it left the party, eventually shooting him in the 900 block of Pauley Drive. Dorr is facing a charge of deliberate homicide by accountability, also as an adult. What a difference a day makes. This was the scene yesterday as torrential rain flooded the 13th Street underpass in Billings, forcing it to close. Tonight, we're asking, how did a historically troublesome spot, the 6th Street underpass, hold up after recent construction was done to try and fix that issue? With that answer and a look at some crazy cleanup that was underway today in the wake of that storm, here's our Kelsey Boggs.
The Billings Airport measured 2.02 inches of rainfall on Thursday, making it the 17th wettest day in 90 years of record keeping. That rain caused major issues throughout town, flooding roadways, basements, and underpasses.
Yesterday's storm was unique.
Historically, if there's flooding in Billings, the 6th Street underpass is the first sign of trouble. The underpass suddenly became a lake. Cars stalled and stranded in deep water. But during Thursday's spring storm,
We had new improvements in the storm drain systems, new pumps installed.
a welcome surprise. For the first time in as long as most can remember, no major issues were reported, thanks to the Montana Department of Transportation and Dow's underpass project that began last year.
The detention ponds were a major factor in preventing flooding that would have happened yesterday for sure if we didn't make any improvements to this project.
This is a heavily trafficked area of Billings, as we all know, and working on a project with so many moving pieces and a pretty significant upgrade to the stormwater system was really impactful.
But not all news is good news. The North 13th Street underpass is a sharp contrast. It had to be shut down Thursday after 24 inches of water pooled, disabling one vehicle. And on the residential side of things, companies like Alpha Omega Disaster Restoration have been busy all day.
One of the biggest things is to get the standing water out.
Although project manager Jordan Kroll says this storm wasn't on the scale of what we saw last June, when nearly all restoration companies had to start waiting lists.
It certainly was not as bad as it was last year.
The company currently has around 25 active projects, mostly for leaking roofs.
Anytime you have a roof leak, you want to look at the insulation in your attic and make sure that it's not compressed and soaking wet.
And flooded window wells. Kroll had advice for those worried about the next flood event.
A lot of the time, rainwater is out of pocket. Insurance won't cover that. So I highly encourage everybody to look into their insurance policy and see if that's something that's going to be covered or not.
In Billings, Kelsey Boggs, MTN News.
We certainly don't need flooding rainfall like that this upcoming Memorial Day weekend, and thankfully that's not in the forecast, but there are showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for the weekend, and we still have some lingering activity around Glasgow and Glendive the last hour or so. Havre as well as Sydney have had some areas of rain, and we still have a little bit around Baker right now, but it is coming to an end around the Billings area. Things are quieter right now, but the temperatures were still below average, and look at that low from this morning. 35 degrees was 1 degree away from tying a record from 1975. Had a high today of 65 degrees. It's still a very quiet time right now, but there are changes in the forecast. Chances for showers and thunderstorms are forecast for the upcoming holiday weekend, the next 7 days coming up.
The Billings Mustangs play their home opener next Tuesday night at Dealer Park, but it will cost a little more this year to take everyone out to the ball game. The team announcing today that at the City of Billings request, it's adding a $1 fee to all single game tickets. The team says that every penny will go into a city-managed account for improvements there at Dealer Park. And Tuesday at Dealer, a groundbreaking ceremony will be held for a special project. That groundbreaking will signify the beginning of construction on a new Veterans Memorial. The project is spearheaded by the nonprofit Hoodies for Heroes. The memorial will honor veterans who have served after 1975 and whose acts of valor often went without formal recognition. The estimated cost of that project is $450,000. Montana Senator Steve Daines and Mayor Bill Cole will be in attendance at the event. Well, still to come on the MTN 10 o'clock news here on Q2, a new school in Joliet looking to make an old form of education new again. We'll explain next. And in sports, play ball, state softball underway across Montana. We'll bring you all the highlights.